Bankruptcy is supposed to give people a fresh start. They come to me because they're overwhelmed with debt and they need a way to get started and regroup and move on with their life without the threat of people calling them constantly trying to get paid. So in the past, I've talked about how to get out from under debt, and I've talked about certain kinds of debt that just doesn't go away in bankruptcy. Child support, alimony, certain kinds of taxes. Student loans is one of those types of debts that just doesn't go away either, except in very limited circumstances. Today, I want to talk a little bit about when does it go away? What is that exception for student loan debt in bankruptcy? Well, there's three things we have to be able to show so that we can actually discharge a student loan debt. The first thing is we have to be able to show you just can't afford to pay it back. It's too much. You've tried your best, you can't make ends meet. Perhaps you lost your job, perhaps you got cut back some hours at work, perhaps you're a recent student graduate that just hasn't found their career path yet. You've tried your best, just can't find a way to make ends meet and pay this obligation going forward. The court system doesn't want you to live in abstract poverty, right? We want you to be able to keep the lights on, put food in the refrigerator, pay for your basic needs. But to be able to get away from not paying back a student loan debt, we have to be able to show that we've tried our best, we've tightened our belt, we've given up on that extra frappuccino, and yet still we can't find a way to make ends meet and pay this obligation going forward. If we can do that, then we've met the first element that we have to do to show that the debt should go away. The second thing we have to do is be able to show that even after making those efforts and not being able to afford to do it today, you can't do it going forward. So in those cases where perhaps you lost that job and now you can't afford to, or you're a recent graduate and haven't found that job yet, those things are likely going to change. At least the presumption is things will get better for you. There is situations where things probably won't change. If you become disabled, permanently disabled, or a dependent has become disabled and now you have a child at home that you have to care for and you can't work, or there's other expenses where you need to provide for. Or perhaps you're older and you don't plan on going back to work anytime soon, or if ever. You've gone through your resources and you just simply can't afford to make ends meet today, and there's no reasonable prospect that you'll be able to do it going further in the future either. If we can do those things, show that you can't afford to, and that situation is permanent or close to being permanent, then we met the first two elements that we have to do to show that the debt should go away in bankruptcy. The last part is perhaps the most difficult part, and that is the showing that we tried our best and we made efforts, but yet we haven't been able to find a way where we can do it. Usually, people coming to see me haven't made those efforts. There is ways you can ask for a deferment or ask for a forbearance, or you have entered into a repayment plan. You've perhaps made some payments, or perhaps you haven't made some payments. Perhaps there's some payments taken out of your paycheck or the bank account or even your Social Security award, and you haven't been able to make those payments going forward, but you did indeed try. You made those efforts. You didn't just file for bankruptcy to try to wash your hands from it and walk away. You tried your best. You made some efforts, and we can demonstrate you've made those efforts. The situation is permanent. You can't make the payments now. You can't make them go in the future. If we can show all those things, then we have a very good case to show that indeed, even though it's a student loan and it's a debt insured by the government, it's a type of debt that can go away in bankruptcy. And we'll do our best to demonstrate that.